Hello friends, today we are going to look at an important data structure in Python that's called graph. Graphs are non-linear data structure and they are basically a collection of vertices and edges and generally used to represent relationship between different vertices. So for example, in this particular graph you can see 5 vertices and 6 edges. It is an important data structure that every programmer should know and interviewers like graphs, so you can expect at least one or two questions in your whole interview process. So today we will look at how to represent graphs, like different ways we can represent graphs in Python. So let's move ahead and look at different kinds of graphs we have. So we have directed and undirected graphs. So on the left hand you can see directed graph and on the right hand you can see undirected graph. Directed graph is generally used to represent asymmetric relationship. For example, if you want to depict any kind of dependency, like in this case, if you consider an edge that connects 1 and 2, there is an arrow at 2's end, so you can depict like 1 is dependent on 2. So in similar way, you can depict a way basically. So if you are representing, for example, a city, so you can say like there is a way from 1 to 2. So it is a one-way road, not two-way. So whenever there is asymmetric relationship, we use directed graph. And on the right hand, you can see undirected graph. There are no arrows at any end, and it depicts a symmetric relationship. So if there is a way from 1 to 2, then there is a way from 2 to 1 as well. So if you face such kind of situation, in that case you will use undirected graph. And this is just to give you an idea on how to think about graphs. And when you program, you will basically represent the graph in a neutral way generally. Like it's the same way you represent directed graph as you will represent the undirected graph. Next, let's look at different kinds of graphs on a different basis. So we have connected and disconnected graphs. On the left hand you can see connected graph where all the vertices are reachable from all other vertices, and on the right side you can see a disconnected graph where at least one vertex or a group of vertices is unreachable from any other vertex. So for example, if you see on the right hand, you can't reach 3 from 1. So if I'm at the node 1 and I want to reach 3, there is no edge that can connect me to 3 via any other way. So you can connect from 1 to 5 but not to 3. So that's the connected and disconnected graph. Next, let's look at another kinds of graphs on yet another different basis. We have directed cyclic and acyclic graphs. On the left hand you can see cyclic graph and on the right side you can see acyclic graph. So in the cyclic graph, as the name suggests, there should be a cycle or a loop, and as you can see, like there is a loop from 2 to 4, 4 to 5 and 5 to 2. And on the right hand you can't find any loop. If I'm starting from 1, I won't reach back to 1, and similarly if I start from 2, I can't come back to 2. There is no way back to 2. So if you're traversing from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 5, and then 1 to 3, and then 3 to 5, there is no cycle anywhere. So that's the cyclic and acyclic graph. And there are a lot of applications where acyclic graphs are required and used. For example, if you are building a program, and if you want to resolve the dependencies, those dependencies should be in the form of acyclic graph. If there is any kind of cycle in that, the dependencies resolution will fail. This is because, for example, if 2 is dependent on 4, 4 is dependent on 5, but then 5 is dependent on 2, in such a case there is a cycle and then the resolution will fail. Let's look at different ways we can represent a graph in Python. So the implementation one would be to keep track of all the vertices and edges list. And as an example, we can see a graph on the left hand that is a directed graph, as we have already seen before. And on the right side, we can see a code snippet which represents a graph through a class like class graph. And there's this init method that keeps track of vertices and edges. And the vertices is nothing but a list of all the vertex, like vertex value. And there's this list of edges that keeps track of all the edges in the form of tuples. So if you if you see, like, there are the edges like 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 2 comma 4, 4 comma 5, 3 comma 5, and 5 comma 2. They are different tuples basically, and we are keeping track of the all the edges in this particular form. This particular approach has its own pros and cons. Let's look at them using time complexity and space complexity, and compare this particular thing with the other representations we can have. So the time complexity of different operations we can perform on this graph. For example, an edge exists. So if we want to check whether there is an edge between given two vertices, we'll have to iterate through the whole edges list, and that's the reason it's O of E, where E is the number of edges in this particular graph. Second operation is get all the adjacent vertices for a vertex. So for example, if I want to find all the adjacent vertices for a vertex 1, I'll have to traverse through the whole edges list again, and this will be again O of E. Third operation is add edge. So by adding edge, I mean add a new tuple to the list of self dot underscore edges. So if I want to add a new tuple to the Python list, it is again O of E. And the fourth operation is remove edge. If you want to remove a tuple from a Python list, self dot underscore edges, at first it is going to take O of E, where E is the number of edges in the graph. Next is the space complexity. To represent this whole graph, we need two lists, and those lists size is equals to V to keep track of the vertices, and E to keep track of all the edges. So in total, it's O of V plus E. The second way to represent a graph is using adjacency matrix. An adjacency matrix is a two-dimensional array, or in this case, a two-dimensional list that represents whether there is an edge between a vertex that's represented using row and a vertex that's represented using column. So let's understand this by an example. If you consider the graph on the left hand, it's the same directed graph and there are 6 edges, and on the right hand we have an adjacency matrix that represents this graph, and if you notice, there are 6 ones in that particular matrix and all other values are 0. This is because there are 6 edges in the graph. And if you see, for example, consider this particular one here, like the second one in the first row. This represents a relationship between 1 and 2, and the direction is from 1 and 2. So it's the first row and it's the second column. So that's why this is 1. And similarly, it's the case for all other ones. And it's not just zeros and ones through which we can represent this graph. We can represent it using true and false as well. Time complexity of this particular representation. An edge exists. If we want to check whether there is an edge between a vertex u and a vertex v, we can directly go and do a lookup of graph adjacency matrix of u and v. In that case, it will be O of 1. Second operation is get all the adjacent vertices for a vertex. To do this, we'll have to iterate through the one particular row. For example, if we want to find all the adjacent vertices for vertex 1, we'll have to iterate through the row 1. And if we are iterating the row 1, how many elements will we see? We will see the number of elements that are equal to v, where v is the number of vertices in the graph. The next operation is add edge. To add an edge, it's basically just flipping the element from 0 to 1 or false to true, and that can be done in O of 1. The next operation is remove edge. It's the same thing. We have to flip it from true to false or 1 to 0. That is also O of 1. Space complexity. Space complexity is O of v square. This is because to represent this graph using adjacency matrix, we use a 2D array, and that array's size is v cross v to represent all the possible edges, and that's why it's O of v square. The third way to represent a graph in Python is by using an adjacency list. An adjacency list is basically a dictionary based structure where the keys are all the vertices in the graph. So for example, in this particular graph we have 5 vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that's the reason we can see in this particular dictionary we have 5 keys, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the values are the nodes this particular vertex is connected with. So for example, 1 is connected with 2 and 3. So there is an edge from 1 to 2 and from 1 to 3. So that's the reason we can see there is the value contains a Python list that has 2 and 3 in it. So this is the way of representing if you use adjacency list. Time complexity. Operation 1, an edge exists. To check whether there is an edge from the node 1 to node 5, we'll have to loop through the whole list at the key 1. And that's the reason it's O of E, where E is the number of edges in this particular graph. And that in turn is because at max all the edges can be linked to only one vertex. So for example, if consider a graph where all the edges are linked from the vertex 1, in that case the list that will be pointed by a key with the value 1 will have all the edges, and so in the worst case it will be O of E. The second is get all the adjacent vertices for a vertex. Again, to get all the adjacent vertices, we'll have to either we can return the whole list. In that case, it will be O of 1. But if we need to loop through the whole list, it will be O of E. So I've mentioned O of E here. The third is add edge. So to add an edge, we'll have to append that new vertex in the source vertexes list here. So for example, if we are adding an edge from 2 to 5, we'll um, add 5 to this particular list, and to add any element in the Python list, the worst case complexity is O of n, where n is the size of the list, and in this case it will be O of E. Fourth operation is remove edge. To remove an element from a Python list, the worst case complexity is O of n, where n is the size of the list, and in this case it's E, so it's O of E. Space complexity. As you can see in this particular dictionary, there are the number of keys is equals to the number of vertices in the graph, and the total length of all the lists combined together is equals to the number of edges in the graph, and that's the reason it's O of V plus E. Looking at the time complexity of different operations, maybe there is an scope to optimize further. What if we replace the list in this particular dictionary with a set? So this takes us to the next representation of graph, that is the fourth and the last one in this particular talk, which is adjacency set. In this particular representation, we again use a dictionary, and the keys are basically the vertices of the graph. The only change here is we have replaced list with a set. In this case, all the destination vertices for a given vertex are represented using a set. So let's see how the time complexity has improved for different operations. Considering the first operation, an edge exists. To check whether there is an edge from node 2 to node 5, we'll basically do a lookup on this particular dictionary that's gonna take O of 1 on an average, and it will return us this particular set that has 4 in it, and we will do another check whether this particular set has 5 or not, and it's again gonna take O of 1, which means O of 1 twice, and in total it's O of 1 only. Second operation is get all the adjacent vertices for a vertex. If we want to return all the vertices that are linked to vertex 2, we can basically return the set, and if we return the set as it is, it will be O of 1. But if we need to parse the whole set, like iterate over all the elements present in the set, it's gonna be O of E. So I've mentioned O of E here. The third is add edge. To add any edge, basically we need to do a lookup for that particular key, and key that is the source vertex for the edge, and we have to add the destination vertex to that particular set that the key represents, and this is again gonna take O of 1 on an average. The fourth case is remove edge. To remove the edge, again we need to perform that operation on the set, and it's O of 1. Next is space complexity. As you can already see, like it's similar to what we had in adjacency list. It's just that we have replaced list with a set, so it's gonna be same, O of V plus E. Let's run the code. Implement the class graph using adjacency set approach. As you can see, we have defined certain methods over here. So let's start with the init method. In the init method, we are initializing the dictionary check edge exists. So in this particular method, we take in v1 and v2, those are the vertices, and we check whether an edge exists from v1 to v2. To do that, first we are checking whether v1 exists inside this particular dictionary that we defined in init, and if v1 exists in this particular dictionary, we will do a lookup. We will do a lookup here, and that will return us a set, and then we are checking whether v2 is present in that particular set. So if you see, this will return a boolean, and this will return another boolean, and this is the syntax in Python. Next method is get all adjacents. It will take in the argument vertex v, and it returns the set of all the vertices that have an edge from v to themselves. So basically, if for example in the earlier graph that we discussed, there was an edge from 1 to 2 and 1 to 3. So to if we call get all adjacents on 1, it should return us a set with 2 and 3. And that's what we are doing here. We will check whether v exists in this particular dictionary graph adj set. If yes, then we will simply return the value at that particular key. Add edge. In this particular method, we take in v1 and v2 and add an edge from v1 to v2. How do we do that? We first check whether v1 exists in this particular dictionary graph adj set. If yes, we will simply add v2 to that particular set that's returned when we do a lookup on v1. So this particular place here, we do the lookup of v1, it will return us the set, and we are basically adding v2 to that. And if v1 doesn't exist, we will basically initialize. We will initialize a new set at that particular key. The next method is remove edge. To remove an edge, we need two vertices again to present like the edge from v1 to v2. And for that again, we will do a lookup on the dictionary to find whether the v1 exists. If v1 exists, we will then see whether v2 exists in that particular set that's returned by looking up v1 in the dictionary. If yes, if both the conditions are true, then we will basically remove it from that particular set. Last method here is add vertex. This takes v as an argument. V is the vertex that we need to add, and it adds it to the graph if it doesn't exist already. So this particular method can be used in a disconnected graph where there is a vertex v that doesn't have any edge. So it will help for that particular case. So let's look how it works. It will first check whether v is not already present in self._graph adj set. So this is a dictionary. It will check whether v does not exist. If it does not exist, it will initialize the v with an empty set. And that's how we have implemented the graph using adjacency set. Test the code. So let's consider the same directed graph that we discussed so far and try to implement it using the graph data structure that we just implemented. So here I have initialized the graph object and added all the edges that we see in this particular graph. And in the end, I've also added a disconnected vertex 6 that's not represented here, but just to test whether the add vertex method works, and printed the internal data structure of that particular graph. Dictionary that's printed over here really depicts the graph if we use adjacency set method, like the one we already discussed. Like we can see an edge from 1 to 2, 1 to 3, an edge from 2 to 4, an edge from 3 to 5, 4 to 5, 5 to 2, and 6 is the disconnected vertex with an empty set. So this works correctly. Next, let's remove the edges and test other methods that we defined. Remove edge method. So we are removing edge 1, 2 here, 6, 1, and 5, 2. The difference here is if we remove 1, 2, there is another edge 3 that is left in the set. If we remove 6, 1, this edge doesn't even exist, but we just want to test whether the method works. So it's kind of an edge case. And the third one is removing 5, 2. If we remove this particular edge 5, 2, the 5 will point to an empty set. So let's test this. Yeah, as we can see, it works. Like if we first we removed 1, 2, so we can see the set with only 3. Next we removed 6 comma 1 that didn't even exist, but it worked. The third one is we removed 5 comma 2 and now 5 points to empty set. Testing the last two methods, get all adjacents and check edge exists. So get all adjacents, we are passing 1 there, and it should return the set pointed by 1, that is set that contains only 3, which we can see here. And the other thing is check edge exists, we are doing it on 1 comma 3, and since 1 comma 3 exists, it should return true. And the other check that we are doing is check edge exists on 6 comma 1, it should return false because there is no edge from 6 to 1. So let's test this. Yeah, it works as expected. The approaches that we discussed today are the standard approaches through which we can represent a graph in Python, but these are not exhaustive. It depends on the use case at hand, and you can customize the representation based on the use case, based on the need of the problem. So yeah, all the best with it. Thanks for watching this video. Please share your feedback in the comments section below.